I think we are live. Hello, everyone. Just decided to go live today. Going to do a quick little AMA with y'all. I'm going to wait until we see if we have some viewers. Go ahead and click the thumbs up button. Let me know if we're live or not. In fact, I may have this set to unlisted. I'm not sure. Dan is here first. Oh, sorry, Chase. Dan beat you to it. All right, good. So we have some people tuning in. We have some people watching. I guess you can hear me okay. You can see me okay. That's good. Let me know if you have any questions. I didn't really think a whole lot about what I was going to talk about. I just decided to go live today. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Thanks, brother, says Dan. Hi, everybody. Hi, Brian. Hi, Payman. Hi, George. Hi, Juan. Hi, Jody. Hi, Amy from Alberta. How's everybody doing? Oh, sorry to hear you're out there in Alberta. What is the topic? Good question. April, hit me up with the topic. Let's talk about it. I got nothing. I'm being honest. I just decided to go live just now on a whim. There's my dog. Anyways, if you want to meet one of them, that's Kaiser Sose. And then this is Tony. He's 420 Tony because he was born on April 20th. So that's my dogs. All right, I am on my phone. Hi, Sean. We got a member in the house. I am on my phone, so it might be tricky to scroll back for questions. Love your media reports here in Ireland, bro. Thank you, Eddie. Tony. Hey, bud. You be quiet. Look at this guy. He's obsessed. He's obsessed with keeping me protected. Okay, they're gone, man. Tony, hey. Don't worry about them. Come here. Come here, you. Here, you go inside and go check it out. You go too. Alright. Have you done any studies on cannabis? Yeah. I study it every day. Actually, no, I'm all over that. Yeah, I was looking into some stuff yesterday, actually. Yeah, Eddie, cancer. Something just came out 3 days ago, excuse me. Some Israeli doctors have made some breakthroughs in cancer treatment with cannabis. It's not just preventative anymore. It's potentially actually can be called a treatment now because of these Israeli doctors who have really been leading the way in medical cannabis testing. And research. They've discovered that they've able to cure cancer in some mice, not just prevent, but cure. This just came out a few days ago. So this Israeli doctor is going to be publishing his findings soon, I think. So yeah, that's something pretty cool. Sledge wants to know, what kind of camera do I use? Right now, I'm just on my phone. It's an iPhone, spy phone. But I use a Canon. I like the 70D. What's up, Kirk? I like the 70D because of its really good autofocus. So if I'm like in a protest scenario or something like that, and I'm running around, you know, in a riot type of scenario, I can't be pulling focus, you know. But the autofocus, the auto lighting, all that stuff on the Canon 70D is brilliant. Yeah, you got the spy phone too, eh? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the spy phone, absolutely. It's pretty bad. I just did a video on that recently. I don't know if you saw that, where I showed you how you could find all the locations that the iPhone tracks on you and how to delete that information. Yeah, check that one out. It's the last video I put out yesterday, I think. Kind of walking you through how to do it. Yeah, check it out, Sledge. I walk you through how to erase all the location history that's on your phone. Thanks, April. Hopefully that'll act as a eye-opener for people. Thoughts about the markets moving forward. You might have to be a little bit more specific. There's a lot of markets. Everything is... we could talk about the everything bubble. I think the crypto market is interesting right now. I'm surprised we're still in a bear market. Not surprised, but I think it could go on for a while. Dan, what about owning an older phone? Flip phone. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I should look into that. Somebody says good video, but Android support. Yeah, I don't own an Android. I'm not familiar with Android, so it would be good to do another one, a little follow-up video explaining how to walk you through the process on Androids as well. But I just did what I know because I have an iPhone with me. The Blocky, aka Noki, was great. Joe Rogan and Twitter. Is that a sub-topic suggestion? I did see that, the Joe Rogan podcast with Jack Dorsey, Tim Pool. Tim did a great job. He killed it. It was really good. Any crypto companies that give you part of the revenue of your data collection? Part of the revenue of your data collection. Sorry, let me see what that says. Any crypto companies that give you part of the revenue of your data collection? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Carlos, but no crypto companies give me anything. So, yeah, there is that. Kaiser wants to come back outside. Want to say hi to the people, Kaiser? Hang on. Look at this guy. Hey, Kaiser. Isn't this the cutest little guy? I know, I'm one of those lame, cheesy dog owners who's like, look at my guy, he's all cute. But everybody's biased towards their own dogs. Everybody's dog's cute. That's Kaiser Sose. It used to be cool. It used to be a cool name. It's a Kevin Spacey character, but then he went and ruined that. But anyways, that's Kaiser. Oops. No cats? No. Unfortunately, I am allergic to cats. I get like really bad eyes itchy, nose running, sneezing. Yeah. So did Ike try to turn you controlled op? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Did David Icke try to make me controlled opposition or something? No. That's the simple answer to that one. Does that vine eat your deck? No, actually, it's really neat. In the summertime, this is all filled in with green leaves. It looks awesome. It's like the whole deck is surrounded in a sea of green. I love it. Trudeau's fate. Good question, George. Things are heating up right now, obviously. You know what's really funny about that? When I released the Trudeau Deception and the Trudeau Foundation Exposed, remember, this was before he was selected, and people hated me for those videos because they were just in love with Trudeau at the time. They were in love with the hair. And go look at the Trudeau Deception. I think I put it out in 2014 or 2015. And it's majority thumbs down because everyone was caught up in the hype back then. But now they're starting to see what I've been warning people about, you know? I warned the Emerys, for example, you know, not to be peddling his nonsense and pushing the youth of Canada to vote him in on the cannabis ticket. I warned a lot of people about him, and here we are. So to be honest, this SLN Labeline stuff, I haven't yet, you may have noticed, I haven't really covered that. It's because it's a bunch of nonsense. It's a whole bunch of distraction BS. I really don't care for it. It's the kind of stuff that happens in the news all the time to make it seem like they're actually covering real controversies and bad things that politicians get into. Meanwhile, this is nothing. This is just pales in comparison to some of the things that are actually going on in Parliament. Speaking of which, did you guys hear about that Parliament building, legislative building in Nova Scotia? The oldest Canadian building that they just found underground tombs, huge vaults underneath it that were put there in the 1800s. I was going to do a video on this. This just came out. Canadian legislative building. They weren't even sworn in and the government voted down evidence. What a joke. Hi, Lee. How's it going? Hope you're well. I was going to ask you if you wanted to go live with me today, and then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to quickly pop one off on my phone and everything. Just wanted to chat with all you guys. I think Mark Emery went well, says Andrea. He dedicated his life to legalizing cannabis and thought it would be a step forward. Yeah, the problem with that is that he dedicated so much of his life to it that he was willing to do anything to attach his name to legalization of cannabis in Canada, even if that meant calling for people to vote in a tyrannical monster, as long as that guaranteed him his legacy in the push towards legalization of cannabis in Canada. And I think his legacy's been tarnished because of it. Emery is burnt. Old news. What do you think of Venezuela EMP? We go and get one here soon. Man, it's scary what's going on in Venezuela, but it should be a huge eye-opener to everybody who pushes socialism. Lee says she's working on a gun control video. Can't wait to see that one, Lee, as I'm sure the rest of the PFT viewers are looking forward to that as well. Did they find Sir Johnny MacDonald pickled in the tomb? Good question. They didn't find. Well, they haven't really said what they found. They haven't opened it. They've stuck cameras in with tubes and stuff from where the excavator broke a hole into the top of the thing. They've peeked in, and yeah, pretty interesting. Yeah, check that out, guys. Look it up. Canadian legislative building underground vaults unearthed, or something like that. You'll find it. Jody P, our hope is in Jesus. Amen. Pyman says, good question, I'm not sure to who. Emery was also libertarian. He tried to get in with liberals, but he should have known not to trust government after his years of activism. He had been facing many legal issues. Yeah, exactly. I tried to warn him. Go check out the democracy deception, or sorry, the Trudeau deception. And in that, I interview Emery. He walks out on me mid-interview because I challenge him with these very points. We need to investigate the Trudeau Foundation movement. Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen my video called The Trudeau Foundation Exposed? It plays like a short documentary. I went kind of doc style with it, you know, B-roll, music. I wrote a narration and stuff like that. Emery's under investigation for sexual harassment. Yeah, I know. I've been hearing that behind the scenes for years, and now it's starting to come to the surface. Today's International Women's Day, and apparently Jody Emery was tweeting about women being abused in the movement. It's like, what are you trying to pull here, following the controversy with Mark? Trudeau-Soros connection, George asks. Yeah, there is a Trudeau-George Soros connection. In fact, I point out that very important connection in a video. Oh, what's it called? George Soros and the Canadian Connection, maybe? So do a search on my channel. Just look for George Soros, Trudeau, and you'll probably find the video. It's got like 250,000 views. It's been age restricted and it's blocked in certain countries. Yes, your Trudeau bid is good. Thank you, Rick. Gun ban laws being passed, asks April. Yeah, what's going on? I think it's Bill C-71. Don't quote me, but we're all over that. As I said, our East Coast correspondent Lee Stewart's on it right now. She's working on a video about that. So we'll have some updates about that soon. But yeah, it's not looking good for gun owners. It's looking totally fine for criminals and people that are not affected by these bills and laws. But for law-abiding gun owners in Canada, it's not looking good. Lee said the head of SNC Lavalin is on the executive board of Trudeau Foundation. Yeah, surprise, surprise. There you go. Pado Foundation, says Big Zini. It's funny, the Trudeau Foundation symbol does look a heck of a lot like what the FBI released as the pedophilia symbol, the little triangles within the triangles. That's what the Trudeau Foundation chose for their symbol. What a load of crap, Eddie says. Women's Day. Gay March. What about Heterosexual Day? Yeah, it is funny. I mean, with the gay rights movement, I mean, nothing against gay people, but what more do you want? Like, you've won. You got it, guys. You don't need to march around anymore and parade. You can get married, you can have kids, you can, you know, make out in public at these things. You win, all right? We know. We're used to it. So, anyways, yeah, I think we're beyond that now. My favorite Trudeau conspiracy is that Trudeau has a half-brother, Castro, down in Cuba. Yeah. No, that he's the son of Fidel. Any thoughts on the new drone laws, says Charles. I'm not exactly familiar with what you're referring to. There's a lot of drone issues going on. Every free-loving Canadian must still get guns, even though it's highly regulated. We can still get them. That's true. But it's being more and more difficult to be able to defend yourself. Anyways, I pointed out a couple of cases where some Canadian men were arrested for defending themselves against home invaders and intruders. One guy beat up the guy, took his gun, used it to shoot him. Not life-threatening or anything, but this was a man who invaded his home with a gun, and then he beat him up and managed to wrestle the gun out of his hands and shot him in order to make him leave. He was charged and arrested with shooting this guy. You get pulled over, they see it. Sucks, yeah. I don't know if you're referring to the gun, but yeah, if you are a law-abiding gun owner in Canada and you want to travel with your gun, you actually have to notify the police when you're going, where you're going to be traveling from point A to point B, from point C and C back to A, and whatever your route is going to be, when you'll be traveling. Even if you just want to go to the gun store to have it repaired or something, you got to notify the police and say, hey, I'm going to be traveling with my gun at this time, and it has to be stored in the trunk. Even when it's at home, you can't have the bullets and the gun together. They have to be stored in a separate lockbox. And you waive the right to the police needing a warrant to enter your home at any time. They can just, decide that they want to come in, check you out at any time. They don't need a warrant if you're a gun owner. That's only handguns, says Sean. Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, I've got a few good videos. There's one I did a few years ago with Rod Giltaca. He's the head of the, what's it called? CC, the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights or something like that. And we laid it out a few years ago, everything that's going to be happening with Canadian gun laws, and it is happening. What about bear attacks? You should be able to open carry. What happened to Rod? I don't know. He's still going. I've seen him doing stuff, videos on, I've seen him do some videos on Facebook. He's still going. Yeah, it does suck for gun owners. Sean has many rifles, no handguns. Gun confiscation is happening in Texas right now. Whew. Yeah. If they can do that in Texas, man, they can do that anywhere. Andrea says, this isn't a Christian society anymore, sadly. A lot of people forget that this nation was founded on Christian principles. And, yeah, it is changing. It is slowly changing. We're seeing the Islamification of our nation. And no, I'm not an Islamophobe. We're seeing the destruction of the family unit, with laws like Bill 89 that would take your kids away from you if you don't recognize their preferred gender pronoun. Yeah, we're losing all of our fundamental structures that this society was founded on. Canadians need to learn that no such thing as Islamophobe. That's absolutely true. Islamophobia is a nonsensical term that really needs to be rejected, because let's break it down. What does a phobia imply? A phobia implies a irrational fear of something. So there's nothing irrational. I've said this too many times, that there's nothing irrational about questioning or having concerns with another religion, another culture that's at odds with Christian fundamental standards and values. My battery is getting low, so hang tight. I'm gonna grab my cable to plug this thing in. Give me 1 sec. Bear with me, guys. There we go. All right, we got power. Okay. Titus 1 verse 5. Sorry if I missed anything. Had to be away. Welcome back. You didn't miss anything. I'm just rambling. People are asking questions. I'm trying to answer. My puppy wants out now, so I'm going to let him back out. Come on out, bud. All right. Let's scroll back on some of these questions here. I thought Canada and America were founded on genocide. I can't find that. Okay, buddy. This is Tony. Hi, Tone. Say hi to everybody. Yeah, all right. He had his name when we got him. He already was named Tony. And we're like, okay. He responded to it. Such a silly name for a dog, but we love him. Tony and Kaiser. Who's setting up the Christian ethos for crucifixion? Hi, Dan. Are FEMA camps real? I don't know. I've seen a lot of things that would make it seem like they are, and I know it makes perfectly well sense why FEMA would be charged with such a thing. Have I seen them personally myself or documented it? No. Walmart death camps, says Jord. Was nice seeing you at Anarchapulco, Dan. Rain Bitcoins, cool name. I can't see your profile. I'm on a little tiny phone, so I don't recall who you were, but I'll check that as soon as I go back. But yeah, Anarchapulco was a good time. You know, this is my 5th year. I've been there every year, and give a talk every year, teach a workshop every year, speak on panels and things of that nature. And it's just a good networking event. Good to hang out with the speakers. Yeah, it's a good time. Claude, we met at the bar with Berwick and his dog. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, it was good meeting you. That's what I love about that conference, once again, is meeting like-minded people. Some of the conversations you have there are just great. You know, it's really nice to be able to connect with so many like-minded people. Christian ideals don't seem appropriate in this day and age. Everyone seems to want to live in the past instead of the present age we currently live in, and live in reality instead of illusion. Well, I guess it depends on what you're referring to. When I refer to, you know, living appropriately as a Christian, I would just look to the example of Jesus. I mean, who else is there that provided the example for how we're supposed to conduct ourselves, right? How we're supposed to carry out our lives if we want true freedom and individual liberty from the government and things of that nature. He laid it all out for us, so I can't really see anything wrong in following that example. Phony religion is inappropriate, but Jesus Christ is more relevant today than ever. Yeah, that's a good point. There's a lot of phony religions out there. I mean, the evangelical movement in the United States has really given a bad name to Christianity. Catholicism in general has really twisted things. You know, I don't really often say I'm religious, but I don't like to say, oh, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, you know, because a lot of people say that, but they're really talking about New Age stuff, and, you know, that, you know, this whole Christ consciousness stuff, and that they are God, and I don't believe any of that stuff. So for me, I just explain it as it's just a relationship. It's a personal, one-on-one relationship, me and my Creator, and that's it. Yeah, I go to church on Sundays. Yeah, I read my Bible, but it's not all about that. I don't have to, you know, but I like to do those things. I like to learn from people who have been studying it longer than me and know better than I do about it, and it's healthy. It's good for my soul. Many people live by the 10 Commandments and never step foot in a church. Yeah, that's true. And that's fine. I'm sure a lot of those people are, you know, saved in the eyes of the Lord. You know, I don't think, it's not like a deal breaker or anything. But it is a good thing to do, to be, again, it's similar just being around like-minded people, right? It's a good thing to do. You get encouragement. Blowing Kites 420, thank you so much for the super chat. Yep, New Age is Luciferianism. What was that one? Christian teachings of individualism and self-guidance is bothering some devious group. Okay. Have you noticed changes in the Bible? Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of interpretations, a lot of versions. I have a King James and a New King James, but I reference anytime there are significant differences. And the Bible I have actually has footnotes to show you where things have ever been changed and what they were changed from and why. Obviously, there's some changes that have to happen, like we don't speak in Old English anymore. We don't say these and thous and things like that. We need to kind of update our common language the way we talk today. So, God does not change, says April. Jody says, I'm not sure the evangelicals in the U.S. represent a true biblical believing, Jesus following, God-fearing Christian. Seems to be a lot of false teaching implants. Yeah, exactly. They have this kind of how should I put it? You can heal yourself message. It's a lot of like what The Secret teaches. The power of thought, and that you can create your own reality. This is what a lot of the evangelical churches are teaching. Kind of like this karma nonsense, which is just not true. Taxation of theft. That's why Jesus roughed up the banksters in the temple. Yeah, people need to remember he did that. It's one of the only times in his ministry that he showed himself getting angry or upset in any way was when the money changers were, doing their thing in the temple, charging interest on loans, and he flipped the tables. He was like, "Get out of here. Do not be doing this in the temple." And hardcore. Thoughts on DPRK preparing to launch a missile? Meh. Thoughts on Tommy Robinson charged for the same crime? Three times. Yeah, I just saw that this morning. Hi, Fear the Conspiracy. Hey, it's the PFT guy. Yeah, do you think I should go cover the Tommy Robinson thing? I don't know if it's worth going to England for, but maybe I'll get him on for an interview or something before he goes to jail, unless he's taken in again already. I'm not sure. Do you believe in the Mandela effect, says Todd? Here's the thing, all right? If we're going to talk about that, I'll just be straight up. And, I have looked into it a bit. And, Tony, come on. Come here, bud. It's driving the neighbors nuts. Tony, come on. Mandela effect, I kind of basically chalk it up to incorrect memories, but not just that. Tony, come on, bud. Tony, come on. We're gonna try to wrangle him in here. He's all the way. Here he comes. Come on. Molly's trying to entice him.
Come on,
with treats. Yeah, Mandela effect. Since you asked, we'll talk about it. I chalk it up to incorrect memories. Now, not just that. Let me give you an example. If somebody extremely influential, like, let's say, one of the producers for The Simpsons, okay, happens to get something wrong. They incorrectly remember something about a film or a particular moment in the past, and they put that out, and it spreads massively all throughout society. And people then think that that's how it always was, and so when they see the difference, they're like, something changed. Meanwhile, it's always been the same thing. It's people who are having incorrect memories is what I chalk it up to. And often when you say, okay, well, what are you suggesting here? Most people say, oh, time travelers came back and messed up the time-space continuum, or, alternate dimensions are causing, glitches in the matrix, so to speak. To be honest, it's all nonsense. It's the human brain is an interesting thing, and memory is very interesting. Scientists are still studying how the brain remembers things. Memory is contained in all sorts of different areas of the brain, depending on what memory you're trying to recall. People can have incorrect memories all the time, um, and that's what it is. So yeah, do I think the Berenstain Bears is physically changing? No, no, it's always been the same thing. But people are remembering things incorrectly. Like, look at the Forrest Gump example. People are like, oh, it used to be life is like a box of chocolates, but now he's saying, you know, the other thing. Well, there's two scenes in that film. There's one where he's sitting beside his mom and he says it one way, and then there's another scene where he's sitting on the bench and he says it a different way. So, I don't know. I don't spend a whole lot of time on that. You'll notice I've never done a video because it's kind of... I don't think there's anything to it. But that's just my thoughts on it. I haven't really gone, you know, public with that in the sense of thinking that it warrants making a video or anything. But, yeah. Do you agree with David Icke on human brain? You have to be more specific. Not sure what you mean. What are we doing this summer? Good question, Lee. I need an excuse to fly on out to Ontario to cover something. Something will come up. I'm sure. Something will come up. What do you think of England in general? I like England. I was there covering Bilderberg in, when was that? 2013, I think? And it was a huge turnout. It was awesome. There was like 2,000 or 3,000 people. I gave a speech, you know, in front of a sea of people. It was really neat. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see a whole lot of England. I stupidly just went like from my hotel to the Bilderberg, you know, thing, and which was like in a field. So like from the field to my hotel and back to the thing, back to Bilderberg, back to my hotel to upload and edit and then as soon as Bilderberg was over, I flew out. Now, when I go to cover Bilderberg, because I'm going to all these cool countries in Europe and stuff, I've decided now I usually tag on a day or two for after Bilderberg to actually see the country that I'm in. So I do that now, but I didn't when I was in England. So yeah, I had fun in England, but didn't really get to see a whole lot. Yeah, I like what I saw when I was there. Tommy's asking about Tommy Robinson going to jail. Yeah, it is ridiculous. It's clearly political, and guys already had to deal with this. So, Chelsea Manning is most likely a brainwashed victim. Yeah, well, clearly, he has some mental issues. Project Stargate? I don't know. You'll have to fill me in. I haven't looked into that much. Somebody's wondering if Lee is still speeding. Would you agree that the majority of people into conspiracy don't actually do their own research? They just watch videos. It's entertainment for most people, I feel. Yeah, that's true. That is a problem. You can catch it in the movement by people just spewing rhetoric and just repeating, you know, the talking points and sound bites that they hear in videos. But if you try to follow them up on things and have them explain it a little more, they don't actually really understand what they're saying. I see a lot of that. What's your opinion on Venezuela? Would the U.S. go for full-out invasion or a classic proxy? Yeah. It's tough to say, man. For the love of Odin? Are they going to call the herd with 5G? 5G, it looks like it is going to be, you know, inevitable. It's probably, realistically, we're not going to see any kind of actual implementation of it, maybe even for another 4 or 5 years. I mean, they don't even have a lot of the infrastructure even close to being in place yet. But yeah, I think it's an important part of their whole agenda and end game plan is this grid where we're all going to be easily trackable on. Guys, share this video. We've only got 176 people tuned in. I got like, I think 230,000 subscribers or something like that, and we get what, 100 people watching, and 176 people are watching with only 92 thumbs up. That does not add up. Click the button. Let's see that number go up. It's still at 93. You guys aren't clicking the button. Come on. There we go. It's going up. That's good. Thanks. I do appreciate that. Honestly, YouTube's algorithms are crushing me. So, yeah, please do that when you watch my videos. It's, you know, simple thing to do, but it really does help with YouTube's algorithms. Just click the thumbs up button. Can't believe your live streams are not bigger. Do it more often. Yeah, maybe that's the key, Jeremy, is consistency. I noticed Owen Benjamin, I started watching some of his stuff lately. He's hilarious. He's got the same size channel as me, roughly, you know, give or take 10,000 people or something like that. And he gets, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 people at a time tuning in to every one. But he's consistent. He's going on for 3 hours, like, every single night. So yeah, I think consistency is key. Interview Owen. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, he's funny. Yeah, I should do that. All right. I'm going to work on setting that up. What would I interview him about? I don't even want to say. His clear, he has a certain bias against a certain group of people. I don't know if I should get into that with him. Dan, the only real and enduring solution is in the New Testament. Please visit our website in the About section of our channel. People need one another on the local level with Jesus as their true leader. Cool. I will check that out when I'm done the stream. Interview Alex Jones. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. You know, the last time I interviewed him, like had him on as a guest for me to interview him, we were talking about the future of the internet. So I think and that was years ago. So it would probably be a great time to follow up and say, hey Jones, last time I interviewed you, it was about the future of the internet, and now look what happened. I can't believe what happened to him. I can't believe it, but I mean, it's very telling of where we are in the current state of affairs here in the info war, as he called it so poignantly. Have you commented on Joe Rogan, Tim Pool Twitter podcast? I'd say pretty much Tim Pool pretty much crushed him. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Yeah, Tim's a friend of mine. We've hung out a number of times. He's a smart kid. Not a kid. I mean, he's you know, he's a smart guy. Yeah, he killed it. He crushed it. He did a really, really good job. Interview Steven Aftergood. Not sure who that is. I'm on a 5G network, says Lisa. It jumps back and forward between 3 to 5G all the time. So it's clear that they are still working out some of the debugging. Yeah, they got a lot of things to work on yet. Maybe you could interview Max Egan. Could be an interview. I just interviewed Max Egan about 5G, like a couple weeks ago when I was in Acapulco, Mexico. Check that one out. I think I titled it something like 5G will cover the globe in a mesh of mosaic cells. What you need to know with Max Egan. Check it out. Really good interview. He was really well spoken on the topic, and just in my opinion, from beginning to middle and end, it was a solid interview with a good flow and a lot of good information in it. Yeah, Max Egan was great. Go check that one out. Just put it out like a week or two ago. Interview Mark Passio. Yeah, last time I saw him, I asked him for an interview, and he kind of brushed me off like 3 or 4 times. He's like, yeah, no, come hit me up in an hour. And then I'd hit him up in an hour, and he'd be like, oh, I'm just about to go eat, come grab me after I eat. And then I'd come meet him after he eats, and he's like, oh, I'm heading over to my booth, come find me over there. And then I'd do that, and eventually I was just like, I don't think this guy. So anyways, I tried with Passio, and then I gave up. Somebody says interview Maxime Bernier. I did. Full sit down, one-on-one interview. I flew to Ottawa for that one. I was one of the first to interview him as soon as he announced the new party. Top-notch reports on 5G, PFT guy. Thank you. A lot more to do with that. Alex Jones woke me up, but also put me in a state of fear and depression, thinking the collapse was constantly about to happen. Yeah, I have to attribute Alex Jones to waking me up too, to a large extent. I mean, I wouldn't probably be doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for him, to be honest. Having said that, things have changed over the years. Like, money and fame do weird things to people. Anyways, I'm going on about 40 minutes. Told Molly I'd only go for about 20 or so. We gotta head into the city, so I'm pushing it. I better get going soon. Interview Curtis Stone, the urban gardener. I did. It was a really good interview. I had a great conversation with him. Don't know if I can remember the name of that video, but just use the search feature on my YouTube channel. Type in his name, or maybe just urban farming or something like that. I'm sure you'll find it. Really good video. I put a lot of effort into that one. Multiple camera angles, and I met up with them somewhere and did a really solid video. In fact, I was just talking to him yesterday. He emailed me, we're potentially going to do a video at his place. I might head up to his place to do something. I'm not going to say what. Something really cool that he's got going on, and I want to break this. I told him I want to break it. So he might have me up to his home soon. So we'll have another one with me and him soon. Dan, have your views on Maxime Bernier changed at all? I loved his platform and party ideas, but recently all he does is try and trash Andrew Scheer on Facebook. I'm kind of disappointed. Yeah, I don't, as anybody who's been following my work for a while knows, I don't put a whole lot of hope or faith or trust in any politician, really. I've never voted once in my life, and I don't recommend anyone do. So my views haven't really changed. I've always been just as leery and skeptical of him as I am of all of them. There's only one politician in the history of all of it that I was, really solid with, and that was Ron Paul. But even him, if he got to the point of becoming president of the United States, then I wouldn't trust the guy anymore. I mean, at this stage in the game, you don't get to that point unless you've been allowed to be there. They're all corrupt. The system is rotten. I often say the system isn't broken. The system is fixed. You don't vote, you loser. Actually, I'm winning on that one. You know that whole thing where they say you can't complain if you've never voted? Well, no, you can't complain if you did vote. You're getting what you asked for, right? I have nothing to do with it. Can you do a video on transgender craziness and rights of parents? Yeah, I've done a lot of videos on that. I interviewed this couple once who was allowing their daughter to transition and to refer to herself as whatever pronoun she wanted. We're talking really young, like pre-puberty kids, and it's brutal. Just look that one up. It's called Bill 89 something. I've covered it quite a bit. Again, just use the search feature on my YouTube channel and look up some of those keywords. You'll find it. Gun ban in Canada. Yep, we covered that one already quite a bit. I've been on this stream for 45 minutes now, and we do have a comprehensive video report that will be out soon from our East Coast correspondent Lee Stewart, who may still be in the house. I'm not sure. She may have left, but yes, we do have an updated video report coming up soon on the Canada's current gun situation. What about SNC Lavalin? Yeah, I talked about that earlier. You can go back on the stream, but it's a bunch of it's a bunch of nonsense, distraction stories for me. It's like there's way bigger scandals and way more serious things going on behind the scenes than these things, and um, it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm not interested in it. Yeah, the birds are awesome. Love my show. Thank you. Interviewed Tim Pool about the interviews he's done this week. That's not a bad idea. Um, yeah, that's not a bad idea. It would be good to get Tim on. All right, so who do I have now in the queue? Owen, Benjamin, Tim Pool, Alex Jones. Anyone else? Let me know. These are good ones, though. All right. David Icke. Yeah, I've interviewed David Icke 3 times now. A lot of people don't realize that. David Knight. Yeah, I like David Knight a lot. Every time I see him at events, we always just kind of hit it off, get along in real person. Yeah, it does sound like a good lineup. Are you a fan of Drunk Buffs? No idea what that is. Paul Joseph Watson, Squatting Slav. Yeah, I've had Watson on a number of times. You know, we used to be pretty good friends, actually. We used to message each other all the time. Not that there was any kind of a falling out or anything. We just don't talk as much as we used to. But Faith Goldie, yeah, I've interviewed her a few times. Honestly, I tried to interview her when I was in Ontario last time, and she totally blew me off. She gave me her number. We were all set up. I was like, she was like, yeah, I'm going to be here. I was like, okay, I'm leaving in an hour. She's like, okay, great. You know, message me as soon as you're here. And then when I got there, I'm messaging her. No response, no response, no response. Called her. A couple hours went by, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going home. So that was that. She kind of blew me off. I got nothing against her. But that happened. Good luck, Dan. We need more Canadian content on the tube. Thanks. Yes. Fritz Springmeyer, says Andrew K. Did you know I interviewed him before? In person. I went to where he lives and interviewed him. That's a good one, too. Gosh, what did I call that one? Well, again, just use the search feature on my channel and you'll find that one. We get into some really heavy topics with him. Yeah, that's a good one. Gosh, I wish I could remember the name of that video. But yes, please check that one out. He is a legend. On Bernier, my concern is he's an establishment plant. To split the vote on the right. Yeah, I brought that up. That was my first question when I interviewed him. Adam Green of No More News. Not familiar. Adam Green sounds familiar. I don't know if I've heard of No More News. Wilhelm Reich's research on psych and orgone energy is a solution to combating 5G tech and radio wave attacks. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, I need to look into that stuff more. Perhaps have an expert in the field on. That'd be great. Anyways, I would love to sit and continue chatting for like hours more, but it's Molly's first day off in a long time, and we're gonna go to the city and have dinner. So that's the plan, which is why I wanted to get a video going out right now. Talk to you fine folks. All 176 of you. What is that, like 0.5% of my subscribers? But whatever, YouTube. This is why I need you guys to migrate over to these other platforms that I'm on. Get over to DTube. Get over to Minds.com. Join my Steemit. You know, BitChute, BitTube. They're all in the description. Yeah, ThemTube, exactly. Yeah, I have a Minds. I have a BitChute. I have all these things. Steemit. So yes, join me those, and please guys, subscribe to our new newsletter. This is the way that I'm going to be able to contact you on an individual level, you know, should YouTube ever pull the plug one day and decide Press for Truth days are numbered, which is inevitable. That's going to happen. So I'm really going to want to be able to reach you. If you, one day you're just like, oh, PFT's gone from YouTube. I want to be able to email you to say, hey, here's where I am now. Don't worry. Like, forget about Google and YouTube. I'm just over here. So, So yeah. All right. We're at nearly an hour, so we're gonna call it, folks. Interview Jerry Butts. Yeah. Thanks so much, everybody. What is ThemTube? Can't find it. No, it's a proper name for YouTube because it's not about you anymore. It's all about them. What's up, Josh? World Alternative Media. Yes, I'm leaving right as you got here, so you can't troll me. I'm sorry. All right, everyone. As much as I would love to stick around with you, we will do this again soon. In fact, maybe I will make this a little more regular so that we can get these numbers up. 174 people. But at least you guys are here. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Don't forget to check the links. Subscribe to all the alternative channels. And, yeah, great talking with you. Thanks for hanging out. Peace. Okay, now how do I do this part? People's live streams have been freezing on them. And, that may be a thing now. Okay, I'm going to try this. And let's see if this does it. All right.